NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang has called for more support for open-weight AI models as it faces scrutiny in Washington. Mr. Huang saying that such models are important to ensure AI is adopted safely and securely. He met with U.S. lawmakers who are debating how to respond to the latest advancements in Chinese AI models after the recent launch of Kimi K3. Now that open-weight model is regarded as having similar capabilities to America's most advanced AI, which are closed source. And for more on this debate, we have Sarah Kaldi. Sarah, first of all, what is driving this divide between open and closed source models?
Yeah, so this divide was really intensified by the recent hack and breach of Hugging Face by an OpenAI agent. Now, when it was attacked, Hugging Face actually used leading U.S. AI models to help defend it against this attack, but that did not help. That did not work. So instead, they turned to a Chinese open-weight model that actually helped. And this backs Jensen Huang's case that open-weight models are important and that they actually intensify security and safety of AI. So open-weight models have their AI systems publicly available, so developers can download them and can make tweaks to them, and as opposed to closed-weight models, which now keeps the technology private and it can be accessed through the companies that create these models. And this is why Washington is having a dilemma right now, because a lot of the most advanced AI models from the U.S., think OpenAI, Anthropic, they are all closed, while China's models are open-weight, and that includes Kimi K3 and DeepSeek. So Kimi K3, of course, narrowed the gap between Chinese and American models recently. They are accused of copying knowledge from American AI models, which they have denied. So experts are now saying that Washington is trying to figure out what to do with these open-weight models. Do they ban them altogether? Do they ban just the Chinese ones? So they're trying to figure that out. And it's not just about the China factor. There's criticism that open-weight models have no central oversight and they can be used by bad actors. And that's where Jensen Huang and other tech leaders come in. They're calling for support for these open-weight models. They're saying that even the ones from China are important, not just for the advancement of the technology or for improving access to AI, but in terms of safety and security, it's key for that too, according to them.
Okay, so Sarah, you've given us a breakdown. Thanks for that. Now we will get a deeper analysis with Vyas Sekar. He is co-director at Scilab's Cyber Autonomy Initiative, Scilab's Security and Privacy Institute at Carnegie Mellon University. Thank you so much for joining us today, Vyas. So I just want to start off getting your reaction to comments by Jensen Huang, who is obviously defending open-weight AI systems, saying that, it's crucial to the industry. From your point of view, a cybersecurity point of view, is it really so straightforward? I mean, does this viewpoint kind of overlook other important risks?
It's a good question, right? I think the open weight versus the closed models has been around for a bit. In general, I think it's good for the market to have the choice, not be restricted by the vendors. I think, as Sarah also pointed out, Hugging Face actually solved the problem or defended using an open weight model. So the open weight model gives people lower cost, more choice, more control. So definitely gives enterprises a lot more control than with the closed models. And it also helps them put like guardrails and safeguards that they can control. Now, that said, there's always going to be the concern whenever you bring in any third-party software, be it an AI model or classical software or hardware into your network, it's a risk. In particular, with these models, there is a risk that there are backdoors where they are leaking private information or doing something malicious. And the only way to do that is to understand what these models are, and having the transparency or being able to understand what they do is going to be super critical going forward.
Yeah, and this is all happening, of course, after the Hugging Face breach, really intensifying this conversation. But what does that breach tell us about the capabilities of the models today and the safety measures surrounding them now?
In some sense, I think I would say the Hugging Face breach is not at all surprising. So we've been doing research in cyber autonomy for a while. And some of our research, even last year, showed that these kinds of multi-stage attacks are capable, even with the older models. And what's happening is the models are getting more powerful. And what we are seeing is these agents are kind of very, very persistent. You ask them to do a job, they are extremely persistent. They go and do whatever it takes. They don't have a moral radar or a moral compass or a wisdom of what is good, what is bad. You give them a job, they'll do it. That's kind of what happened in the OpenAI Hugging Face incident. The agent was asked to solve a benchmark, and it did whatever it needed to do to get a good score on that benchmark. So yes, we need safeguards and guardrails, but it's also been shown that these agents are very good at bypassing those as well. Again, this is going to be a cat and mouse game for a while as we figure out how to contain these kinds of agents and models and what are best practices for using both open and closed models inside sort of mission critical enterprise systems.
Yeah, and you know, more than 1,000 AI staffers are now also calling for the U.S. to pace AI development and not let the technology advance too quickly. Is this a reasonable approach?
Good question. I just saw that as well. I think in general, having safeguards and sort of guardrails on the AI is useful, and sort of our ability to build this is becoming more easy than our ability to understand it. So far in human civilization or software, we haven't had such a thing that was so complicated and so powerful that we couldn't understand what it's doing. So from that point of view, slowing it down or putting the guardrails or not making it completely go crazy seems like a step in the good direction. I don't know the specifics of what they're petitioning the governments to do. If it's about like safeguards, if it's about guardrails, that seems like a step in the right direction.
Okay, and just one more question, and I want to look at the regulatory aspect of things. You know, what would a regulatory framework look like? You know, do you think there should be difference in how open weight versus closed proprietary models be regulated? And what level of transparency you think is fair enough for governments to expect from these developers without, of course, compromising commercial competitiveness or national security? We've obviously heard things like mandatory independent security audits, red teaming, for example.
I think this gets back to sort of a bigger question around like data and AI sovereignty. Do I control what's happening? And I think we're still in early days of this game, I would say. I'm not a policy expert, so it's not clear where the policy side is going. Right now, it seems that there has been a reaction against the Chinese and open weight models. That might be a little too extreme in terms of saying, oh, we should ban these things because we don't understand it. And there's obviously, like you said, market forces at play in protecting the interests of those who have the closed models at this time. But more generally, going forward, I think we do need the regulatory frameworks, whether it's open source, open weights, or closed models, on how we use these AI systems in our everyday life. So it doesn't matter whether it's open weights or closed source. I think that is almost to me irrelevant. What is important is we have this powerful AI tool, and we're going to use it everywhere. Say inside a university, inside law enforcement, inside your newsroom. How do we use this effectively? How do you use this safely? Is something we need to collectively investigate and invest in.
All right, Vyas, appreciate you joining us today. Vyas Sekar there, co-director, Scilab Cyber Autonomy Initiative, Scilab Security and Privacy Institute at the Carnegie Mellon University.